projected winner in the presidential race, and part of that is because of a delay in counting votes. It's a tight race with President Donald Trump and Joe Biden less than 1% apart at this time. Well, Georgia Secretary of State Brett Raffensperger is about to hold a news conference on the state's progress in counting votes. Let's go live now to Atlanta.
Move more quickly. Well, as you all know, the law calls for all absentee ballots to be accepted by 7 p.m. on Election Day. So, obviously, on Election Day itself, election officials are very, very busy actually running the Election Day voting. So normally what they'll do is have to come back in that evening and into the next day and accept those ballots, and by accepting them, they have to go through signature match and all the other processes to confirm the validity of those. And in our case in Georgia, especially when they come in right before or on Election Day itself, we have to get notifications out to those people that they have 3 days to come in and cure their ballots. That all takes time. It all takes effort. There's only so many people who are involved in these processes in the 159 counties in this state. I know there's been questions about numbers that move around. I've heard 25,000, 50,000, 60,000. The reality is it's about 60,000 votes that are out right now, and we're working with the counties to make sure that they have properly put their stuff into their system and uploaded. As like many of y'all during this election cycle, they're tired. Sometimes they're going to forget to press the upload button. So we've recently this morning done an extra email and follow-up phone calls through our liaisons and the elections office to make sure they have uploaded everything. And with that, we just had a new tranche of votes come in from Sumter County, which has lowered the overall. I'm going to give you what we have with every caveat in the world. We believe the best numbers are right now for the state, knowing that there's going to be a handful of those ballots in small counties here and there that will be slowly aggregated into the system over time. But these are our big tranches that can affect the outcomes overall. And some of you might have seen some of these already. We're working to get these done today if possible. And we're working with the counties who might be having questions about how to do this properly, because the main thing we want to do, fast is great, and we appreciate fast. We more appreciate accuracy. Accuracy is going to be the bedrock upon which people will believe the outcomes of these elections, be they on the winning side or the losing side. So accuracy is vital, and it's the key to all of our processes. And I want to make sure we told everybody in this room and in this state and around the country, this is the first time Georgia has used paper ballots in 20 years. We told people they can expect some results on election night, and we got a lot of them out there. In fact, we got down to 250,000 yesterday. We're down to about 60,000 today. So let me go through what we know we have right now. I brought my computer so I wouldn't screw it up. Bryan County, 3,027. Burke County, 494. Chatham County, 17,157. Clayton County, 7,408. Cobb County, approximately 700. Floyd County, 682. Forsyth County, 4,713. Fulton County, 11,200. Gwinnett County, 7,300. Harris County, 3,641. Lawrence County, 1,797. Putnam County, 1,552. Taylor County, 456. For a total right now of approximately just over 60,000 votes. The anticipation is we will continue to go through the process throughout the day and into the evening if necessary. I know there are large counties in this state that stayed overnight, Fulton County being one of those, to process these, and they've knocked their numbers down to that 11,200. We anticipate getting through this process today. One of the reasons that our friends in Chatham County take a little bit longer is they have a unique system where their board of registration is separate from their elections division, and they handle different sides of the absentee ballot and the reporting process. So that's one of the things that held them up, but I think we're through that process today, and I anticipate getting the majority of the 17,000 in today as well. So with that, I want to thank y'all for being here and answer any questions. We'll start with Justin over here.
Yeah, can you explain to us why that number seems to be such a moving target with the number of absentee ballots?
As I said earlier, all the ballots that come in by 7 p.m. on Election Day had to be logged in. Now, at the same time, they're making reports on the other side. So they're drawing from the let's say there's 10,000 ballots. They report 2,000 ballots. They add 1,000 ballots. That means you have 9,000 ballots. And that's why the number of potential votes that are available will continue to be changing. What we've essentially seen now is that number stopped growing, which is why we went from 250,000 yesterday about this time to 60,000 today. Yes, ma'am.
We're seeing a lot of people online who are saying, with it taking so long, we have concerns about the validity. Can you talk about some of the security protocols that y'all have in place as the Secretary of State's office to make sure that the counties are counting everything properly and votes aren't appearing as overseas?
Well, the main thing, there's several things that work on this system, and the biggest one of all is we have paper ballots. So there's going to be a record of what has occurred here, and if there's any questions, you can always go back to do an audit and a recount. In many places, everything is open to the public. We are poll watchers in many of these places. In places like Fulton County, the state has placed a monitor, and we've had investigators go out and many questions about how these ballots are being handled and move forward. It's frustrating. Time, when everybody else is done. Here's the other thing. Florida has more to count than we do, but their margin's wider, so it doesn't matter as much. We have a much smaller margin, and we're aware of that fact, and the county elections officials feel that pressure. They understand. They are working hard. My hats are off to them having to go through this process and be under this level of scrutiny. They're all doing extremely well. And these are 159 elections directors and employees who are here to do the job of protecting democracy. When you go to talk to them, they think about that. They think about the votes of every person in this room and around the country. These are people who are not involved in voter fraud. These people are not involved in voter suppression. I'm telling you, they're doing their jobs every day. It is hard, and we are thankful to them for it, and we're going to work with them to make sure that every legal, lawful ballot is counted.
Mr. Sterling, on risk limiting audits, can you tell us the criteria for the decision that will be made on what race to look at, and has that decision been made, and when will that RLA occur?
The decision hasn't been made yet. The exact criteria is defined in the state election board rule. It'll be decided probably after we get the county certification or not long before. The secretary is the one who solely gets to make that decision, so I won't speak for him here.
Will it be the closest race, though?
Sir, I just said you can look at the SCB rules and that outlines the definition. I'm not going to be able to answer that. Yes, sir.
What do you want to tell Chatham County given that they have 17,000 ballots? These that sell up.
It's a lawsuit that will be handled at the county level. As I understand it, it may only affect 50 ballots, but I'm sure that their legal counsel will give them the advice they need to get through that process. Mr. Fowler. Hold on one second. I can't hear anything with that, whatever they're doing up there.
After these 60,000 absentee ballots have been processed, that will be the end of counting the military committee. Can you explain what the provisional ballot process is like, and if we have any idea of how many votes might be spread throughout?
We are working with the counties to try to get a full understanding of how many provisionals might be available. Mr. Fowler, who's done a good job reporting on this election, makes a very good point that the election is not over just on the absentee ballots. There are absentee ballots from our overseas military voters that, if they are postmarked by Tuesday, have to be accepted by Friday. There are provisional ballots that need to be verified by Friday. And if you have an absentee ballot with an issue like missing a signature or something, you have until Friday to cure those. Yes, ma'am.
Did you anticipate that this process would take as long as it is taking?
That is why, literally, for the last 2 months, we have said it will be, Wednesday or Thursday before we knew the answer to this. So, yes. Yes, sir.
Piggyback on a question about the suit against Chatham County. As you know, the Trump campaign is also threatened us a couple times. Has the Secretary of State's office received any reports of the sort of irregularities that they're complaining to support that?
Any report we get of any kind of irregularity, our investigative division will look into and ascertain the validity of that report, and if necessary, investigate. Yes, sir. I can't say for certain right now. I know we have reports around several things. I'm not sure about voter fraud or anything, because that's kind of a broad term. So I need more specific question, and we'll get with our investigations division and try to get a specific answer to that. Yes, sir. Nothing, because I've not heard of anything about a corrupt scanner in Gwinnett County. I have no information about that. Yes, sir.
The number of absentee ballots that's been put into ENET, is that the final number, or do you anticipate any more being processed?
As I said in the beginning of this thing, there's a possibility that some counties might not have hit upload yet. There's a possibility that they could have not had a random one here or there. So But as far as the general outlines of these, we anticipate that the absentee ballots that are there, and we have the extra bit of security that we know the number of requests. Therefore, we know that is the most outlying ability of anything to be done, so we know the outer limits of anything possible. But right now, as we sit here today, yes, we feel comfortable with that number. Yeah, Justin?
What about the possibility of a recount? Georgia law provides for that for the candidates, and it looks like in the presidential race we're moving into that margin.
There is a possibility of that occurring. Georgia law calls for if you're within 0.5% of the certified result, then the losing candidate, or I guess the winning candidate if they wanted to, could call for a recount, and that would be a statewide recount conducted. And one of the things that we did in procuring our new Dominion voting system is we provided for knowing the state's general political situations after 2018, we provided high-capacity scanners to every single county in the state so that they could conduct a statewide recount if it became necessary. Mark.
In addition to the 60,000 absentees that need to be counted, we also, the provisionals and UOCAVA overseas ones would be on top of that, correct?
Well, Mark, if you weren't late, you would have heard the answer to that already.
No, I was but I wanted to clarify. Do we know how many that might be?
We're working with the counties to get a final number on that, so yes. Yes, ma'am.
Can you go ahead and certify the results before the adjudication process in some counties like Gwinnett is completed?
No, that wouldn't be possible. The adjudication process gets us to the final number to certify. State law requires that the counties certify their results 10 days from the election, and then we have some time after that. We hope to do it faster than that because what we need to be able to do, when the counties certify, we're then going to move into the risk limiting audit phase, and then after the risk limiting audit is closed out, then we will certify the election. Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to get any additional information on just what happened in Spalding County? Why was it just those two counties? What was the
As I said in the press conference on Election Day, we are focusing on getting the election itself done. We do believe it was a data set issue. Don't know exactly why yet, but we have our vendor. We're working on it. But right now, we are really focused on making sure we get the answers out. Yes, ma'am.
So when it comes to the lawsuit from the Trump team about one specific county, you're not reporting, you're not investigating these reports of ballots being moved, ballots being counted.
I can't speak to what investigations have been opened yet. I know there's been discussions about that, but we'll have to get with you after that, after talking to our chief of investigations.
Mr. Schilling, previously I think there was
Hey.
good to see you in person.
Yeah.
A noon approximation for deadline, and today you said, just now you said today if possible. So end of day today maybe is sort of the time.
I am prayerful that we can get to a resolution by the end of the day, but as has been pointed out by everybody, this is going to be an extremely close margin, especially in the presidential election, and we anticipate every one of those UOCAVA and curable ballots and provisionals may come into account in that. So having a final one, it may take a minute. Stephen.
Can you describe the adjudication process for these absentee ballots and what changes have been made from the June primary?
Probably not, but I can give it a shot. The adjudication process is a new system here in Georgia. Under the old system of scanning, when you had hand-marked paper ballots, which are something that, unfortunately, as a hand-marked paper ballot, is very open to human frailty and mistakes. We can use an electronic adjudication system where it takes a picture of those ballots, and the computer used to just say, if it's an overvote, we're going to kick it out, which means there's two ovals marked for a single race. We're going to kick it out, and then a human being will get a chance to look at it. Under the new system, it will also look at overvotes, plus it will look at anything like an ambiguous mark. So if somebody has a check mark or anything like that, it brings it up onto a screen, and a bipartisan panel will then examine that ballot to discern the voter intent. Then it is marked in the system, and then it can be counted properly. Yes, sir.
How many ballots have been tossed out at this point in time? Do you have that number?
You'd have to be more specific. We don't toss out ballots in the state.
Yeah, they have obviously had errors or mistakes or double, like you said, marked.
Yes, we wouldn't have a tracking on that right now because that's basically, if you mismark something that is not a actual vote cast in that race, and just because there's a mistake on one part of your ballot doesn't mean the rest of your ballot would still get counted. Yes. Sorry, Mel.
Mr. Barron is saying that 130,000 have been adjudicated. Is that correct?
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, that kind of made my skin crawl when he's saying that 130,000 ballots have been scanned in batches, and they've adjudicated the small percentage of those inside those 130,000. So to give some clarity to that. Yes, next door.
About 27,000 I understand about military and overseas ballots. Some of them returned. So is that the latest into tomorrow possible?
Well, as I said, we have to accept those ballots until Friday, and we can't know what's going to get here until the time actually gets here for that. Don't tell me I punched y'all out. All right, with that, I just want to say one more thank you to the voters of the state of Georgia. The Secretary begs your patience. This is a long process, but I think all of us would agree that having an accurate count is much more vital. An accurate and fair count is much more vital than having a fast count. So thank you, and we'll try to follow up with any other questions for later today. Y'all have a great day.
Well, you just heard a news conference from the Georgia Secretary of State's office. They say some 60,000 votes still need to be counted. Representatives with the Secretary of State's office also say the circumstances surrounding this election are unprecedented. They've never happened before, and they're calling on the public to have some patience. They say they'd love to have the results fast, but their priority at this time is accuracy. And here's a small breakdown of local ballots that still need to be counted. Chatham County still has more than 1,700. While Bryan County still has more than 1,000. Of course, we'll continue to update this story as soon as new details become available. Well, also making headlines this morning, there's still no projected winner for Georgia's Electoral College votes. A couple counties at this time are still counting votes, as you just heard. And here's a look now at how those numbers are playing out. As you can see on your screen behind me, Joe Biden has 49.2% of the vote compared to Donald Trump's 49.6% of the vote at this time. We've been covering these numbers since 4:30 this morning. Those numbers haven't changed, but when they do, and if they do, we will be sure to give you an update. The Georgia Republican Party and President Trump's campaign has filed a lawsuit against the Chatham County Board of Elections. That suit claims that the county is improperly counting absentee ballots received after the state's deadline. WJCL's Emma Hamilton is joining us live from Savannah now with the latest.
Ashley, good morning. Well, that hearing between the Trump campaign and the Chatham County Board of Elections is happening right now. And like you said, Ashley, that lawsuit is alleging that a poll worker who actually works in Richmond County, Georgia, was called into Chatham County. And on election night, he saw 53 absentee ballots that were not processed get mixed in to processed ballots. Now, of course, he alleges this, and they are talking about this in this hearing with Judge Bass this morning. Essentially, this lawsuit was filed against the Board of Elections, and something that's unique here in Chatham County is that the Board of Registrars and the Board of Elections are actually two separate entities. So the difference here is that the Board of Registrars handles all of voter registration and absentee ballots, while the Board of Elections handles actual elections and counting the ballots that happen on election day. And so that was fixed this morning when the hearing first began with Judge Bass. This is now against the Board of Registrars. And essentially, the Trump campaign is saying that they're not asking for the counting of ballots to stop here in Georgia. They are just asking to make sure that this is safe and secure and that no illegal ballots that basically came in after 7 o'clock on election day are being counted. Ashley.
Question on the minds of many this morning is whether the poll worker making the claims had any proof regarding a mishandling of those absentee votes.
Well, essentially, Ashley, basically, it's all a word of mouth. And so he testified this morning explaining his whole story, that he saw those ballots, they were in with the already processed ballots, and that he left the room and then came back, and those ballots were gone and off to where Chatham County counts the ballots. Now, when the Board of Registrars asked the same thing, Ashley, basically, what is your evidence here? He said that he could not confirm nor deny that those ballots were received after 7 o'clock on election day.
Report will be staying on top of that. I want to direct your attention now to the WJCL Facebook page. We do have an article on the lawsuit. It's titled "Ballots in Chatham County Are a Target of the Lawsuit." So now it has more than 200 comments and it's gaining a lot of interest. So we want to invite you all to also make your comments on that so that we can hear from you as well. Time check this morning, it is 10:58. And this morning, we still don't have an official election result count for Chatham County. WJCL's Danae Bucci is joining us live now with more on the ballot counting process. Danae, good morning to you.
Ashley, good morning. We just heard from the Secretary of State's office that Chatham County is expecting 17,000 more ballots, or more than 17,000 more ballots to be counted for this election. Bryan County also has more than 3,000 ballots that need to be counted. Now, this is important because the race between the president and Joe Biden is being counted by less than 18,000 votes. There's less than an 18,000 margin right there. Now, Chatham County has the most uncounted ballots of any county in the entire state. The county received received at least 41,417 absentee ballots from this election. And as of last night, they had counted 25,000 of those ballots. There is an adjudication team in the building right now going through ballots that have been rejected by that online system. And I'm trying to work to see if they still have more ballots that need to be processed for tabulation here at the Board of Elections. Ashley?
Any explanation as to why there's a delay tallying those votes?
Well, the delay seems to be because of the unprocessed ballots that are still being worked on over at the warehouse just across the street from where I'm working. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not they still have more of those ballots to be processed, or if it's really a tabulation and adjudication issue here at the Board of Elections building. Like I said, there is an adjudication team here right now working to see whether or not ballots need to be counted still because they got rejected from that online system. So we're trying to work to see whether or not that's causing the delay.
Danae, thank you so much for that report, and we'll check back in with you a little later. Just to add to that report, we did hear from Brad Raffensperger, that's the Georgia Secretary of State, and he said some of those issues could also be because of the pandemic and also a new statewide audit in addition to being familiarized with those new voting machines. Obviously, another developing story that we're staying on top of. And here's another. The Senate race between Jon Ossoff and Senator David Perdue is also tightening. Perdue's once comfortable lead has gotten smaller, and now there's a very real possibility this could be the second Senate race to head into a runoff in Georgia. If that's the case, Georgia could be front and center for control of the Senate with 2 runoffs set for January. If Georgia rejected your absentee ballot for any reason, you have until Friday, that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. to correct it. The Southern Poverty Law Center says voters should check the status of their ballot through the Secretary of State's website. And if it was rejected, SPLC says you need to contact your county registrar in order to fix the error. Well, happening now, an update on the lawsuit put in place by the Trump campaign against the Chatham County Board of Elections. The Trump campaign now calling on the counting of the votes to stop after reports of votes being mishandled. The hearing into the matter is about to get underway at the Chatham County Superior Court. Let's go there live now.
Now, is that right? Oh, There. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Now, Ms. Germany, did you fill this form out?
No, this is the form that is filled out by the elections office. We do have a form that we do as a transfer, the ballot transfer form.
The ballot transfer, and when is the ballot transfer form used?
The ballot transfer form is used when we're transferring the ballots to the elections office.
Okay. But this form is
Both
not.
party signs off, the election supervisor or the assistant supervisor signs off that they're receiving the actual sealed containers.
Okay, so the ballot transfer form is used when absentee ballots are collected from the drop box. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct, sir. You're talking about that's something totally different.
Okay, so what form is used when ballots are collected from the drop boxes?
There's a absentee ballot drop box form that's used for the absentee ballot drop box.
All right. And does the Board of Registrars maintain those forms?
Yes.
Is there a ballot transfer form signed for these particular 53 ballots?
Yes.
And where is that?
It would be a part of the form, the ballot transfer form that the election official would have signed on yesterday.
All right. And does the Board of Registrar maintain all the drop box collection forms?
Yes, we do.
And do those forms indicate the number of absentee ballots retrieved from the drop boxes?
Yes, they do.
How are ballots tracked when they're transferred from the registrar's office to Board of Elections?
We have a ballot transfer form. The ballots are the number of ballots is notated on the crate, as well as the manifest that we sent over, and it also has the number. Each manifest have the number of the number of ballots in each batch.
Okay. And so somewhere there should be a ballot transfer form reflecting these 53 ballots. Is that correct?
Yes, we do have that.
Okay. How do you determine the batch number for absentee ballots?
And what you just heard live was a hearing regarding a lawsuit put in place by the Trump campaign against the Chatham County Board of Elections. The Trump campaign now calling on the counting of votes to stop after reports of votes being mishandled. And the hearing into the matter was what you just saw on your screen happening at the Chatham County Superior Court. We'll have updates on that story throughout the day. And also coming up in just a moment, we're going to have an update from government officials in Fulton County regarding the ballot counting process there. For right now, though, we're going to return you to regular programming. But looking ahead again, we're going to have an update from government officials in Fulton County regarding the ballot counting process.